Hello there, I'm Darren.
And I'm Doogie.
And we're taking a look through the real sequels. The Star Wars series that happens after Episode 6 in the books and novels, and sometimes comics.
Yes, we'll be starting with the Thrawn trilogy, which is the first set of expanded universe novels that was released.
So we're looking at Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. We're starting with Chapter 1. We open up into the Star Destroyer Chimera with Captain Peelian.
Yeah. And, Captain Peelian, he's, leaning over at, a tech station, sort of directing this technician of what to do, and this is, our intro into what the Empire is like now. There's someone calling across the bridge for Captain Peelian, and he just flat out ignores them, and eventually they walk over, and, it's only then, once they, walk up beside Peelian, that Peelian, sort of straightens up and actually acknowledges them, and basically gives them, a dressing down about how, we don't shout messages across the bridge of a Star Destroyer. We go to the person and we give them the message, and
go to your room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is him kind of just stuck aboard this ship with a whole bunch of shinies after the Battle of Endor, because this is set 5 years after the Battle of Endor, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And Peelian launches into this inner monologue of what a state that the Empire is in at the minute, how they lost all the bright up and coming stars out of the Academy whenever the Super Star Destroyer Executor, Vader's flagship, crashed into the second Death Star in the Battle of Endor, and how they lost all their best
and Admiral
people.
Piet. Yeah. Their best and brightest, and Admiral Piet.
Yeah, and retreating basically for the past 5 years. They only control a quarter of the galaxy now. They've just been trying to work with these fresh recruits that have no actual experience, as you were saying there. But their one hope is this new admiral that has come onto the scene, and Peelian goes down to inform him that the assault crew have returned from a Broa sky, and he walks into the antechamber to this second bridge that's basically been built inside the Star Destroyer Chimera, and as he's walking through the antechamber,
gets a big breath on his neck.
Yeah. It's dark, and Rook, Thrawn's bodyguard, just breathes on his neck and says hello, it says Captain Peelian,
which is frightening by itself, but at the same time, Rook is actually a hobbit-sized lizard man, so even the fact that he got up to Peelian's neck and breathed on him and then said his name, it's proper Ghost Train. So he runs into Thrawn screaming.
Yeah. So that it introduces Rook perfectly of uber stealth assassin that can breathe in your neck even though they're the size of a hobbit, kind of alien. So that's an interesting ability. But Peelian carries on after he changes his trousers, and he heads into the main room where Thrawn is, and it's this chamber filled with art pieces and sculptures and all these statues and stuff, and they're in the middle of the room. There's a double ring of screens, and the outer one is above the inner one, so you can see all the screens at once. And in the center of that is Thrawn sitting in his chair, and he's just looking at all these different art pieces, and this is the introduction to Thrawn that we get of it's everything about Thrawn is trying to show that he's so different to everything we know about the Empire up to this point. He's really unorthodox, really different, and just loves art and stuff. So of course, Peelian's the assault team have returned from a Broa sky. They were being chased by the rebels, but they managed to lose them, and Thrawn's nah, I doubt that they lost them if I know the rebellion, but we should have a few minutes. What do you think about art? And so starts talking to Peelian about art.
How do you feel about jazz?
Yeah.
Sorry, Star Wars. How do you feel about jizz wheeling?
Yeah. I do it every night. You don't know where to go from there, do you?
Well, the rebellion ships pop out of the sky, explode, fall. The rebellion ships pop out of the sky,
Yep, and the klaxons start going on the ship, and all those screens with all the art pictures they changed, like tactical screens, showing these 4 New Republic like assault cruisers that have came out, and Pelian's immediate reaction is to like run and set a course for like light speed to get out of there because they're outnumbered 4-1, and Thrawn's like, no, belay that order, you know, we'll fight them here, and so Pelian's like, well, should we call for reinforcements then? Like, there's a Star Destroyer like 15 minutes and another one like an hour away. And Thrawn's like, no need for that. You know, there might be survivors, and we wouldn't want them to know our true numbers. You know, and again, just trying to set up Thrawn as this incredible like tactician and mastermind, and just
so cool. Yeah,
very cool, and very just so suave. And New
Republic pop out of nowhere, and Thrawn goes, oh yes, our first catch of the day. Sends out 2 scout ships.
Yeah, and one of them immediately gets blown up by the assault craft, and Thrawn's like, yes, that's fine, come back now.
That's what I meant to happen.
Yeah.
You in the red shirt, get into this ship.
Yeah, wrong franchise there. But yeah, so Thrawn like pulls back the scout ships, and he's like, yes, okay, I think I know what to do now. And then he starts ordering like the Star Destroyer to like turn so that they're side on to the New Republic assault cruisers, and sort of tilted towards them, like the top of the Star Destroyer is sort of tilted towards them. And then he orders the squadrons of TIE fighters to launch from the hangar bay and to like spread out around the Star Destroyer, kind of like a fountain or like an umbrella kind of pattern, and assault the New Republic craft. And after giving these orders, Thrawn turns to Pelian and he's like, so what do you think of my strategies? And Pelian says, well,
meh.
You know, basically, yeah, he's like, well, I see that, I understand that you turned the Star Destroyer and sort of tilted it slightly so that the hangar bay was shielded from the New Republic assault craft. But the TIE fighters, they're just performing like a standard Mark Sable maneuver. Like, surely they'll pick that apart, no problem. And Thrawn's like, ordinarily, yes, but this maneuver will destroy them completely. Just watch. And Pelian's like, that's not gonna happen. You know, but they watch, and over the next couple of minutes, these TIE fighters just decimate the 4 assault cruisers, and they like scatter and break apart and just get completely annihilated. And Pelian's like, why are they reacting like this? Why is this working so effectively? And Thrawn's like, well, there's an Elamon in charge of this fleet, and the Elam, they cannot handle the unstructured attack pattern of a Mark Sable. So they're reacting in the only way they can, or at least the only way they psychologically can react. And Pelian's just kind of like awestruck, and he's like, the scout ships, that's how you figured out there was an Elam in charge? But like, how did you know a Mark Sable would affect an Elam in this way? And Thrawn just ends the scene by saying, well, learn about art, Captain. If you understand a species' art, you understand that species. You know? And the final like sort of little scene at the end of this chapter is just like a few hours later, Thrawn and Pelian are in like a meeting room, and Thrawn saying about the information that was captured by the assault team on Abrosky. It's the first piece of a puzzle, and that puzzle piece is the location of Wayland, which is, or at least Thrawn has heard that Wayland is where the Emperor has placed a storehouse of like secret technology and stuff. So Thrawn is hoping that there will be useful things in the storehouse that he'll be able to use to help the Empire fight the rebellion. And the second piece of the puzzle is on Mirkir. Yeah. So the chapter ends with Pelian asking, well, what puzzle is that? And Thrawn says, well, the only puzzle that matters. the complete and total and utter destruction of the rebellion.
Oh, mic drop.
Told you before, don't drop my mics.
Okay, and that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a wee comment if you feel you want to.
Don't you just hate it when people ask for you to like and subscribe and leave a comment?